So we have attempted the first 8 questions from this reading section that is called The Importance of Children's Play. The first 8 questions have already been attempted, and today we are going to look at some questions. The question that you can see on your screens right now is question number 9. Children with good self-control are known to be likely to do well at school later on. Now, of course, there are 2 keywords: self-control, to do well at school later on. And so, because the last answer was there in child's later life, so we are going to look at this part from here and onwards. Answer to question number 8 was in that paragraph, and we cannot find anything related to good self-control in this paragraph, so we are moving on. And we can see early development of child self-control is children's self-control is mentioned, but it is not about good self-control. So something good related to self-control, because that was about development of children's self-control. But in the next paragraph we can see that it is about greater self-control, which is somehow related to this expression good self-control. So greater self-control and good self-control can be considered to be equivalent to each other. So now we're going to look for, is it likely that such students do well in the school later. The next sentence is about the performance as well, and we can see it says that this sort of evidence makes us think that giving children the chance to play well make them more successful problem solvers in the long run. So that means that they perform better in the long run. So of course that is later in life. And if we want to be more specific, because the question also asks for something related to do well at school, then we have got another paragraph where we will have to look for, because in the next paragraph you can see that educational practices and a key predictor of academic performance. So now this has now this answers all the questions or all the doubts about this answer. Academic performance is related to schools, so the answer should be true, because it matches all the chunks or all the parts, all the divisions, all the points of the question. Now question number 10 is about the way a child plays may provide information about possible medical problems. So now the way a child plays is one chunk, may provide information, and possible medical problems. So of course something related to any of these 3 chunks. So let's have a look in the text. So we had found the last answer in these paragraphs. So of course we're going to look for the answer in the next ones. So we are going to look for something related to a medical problem, or also something related to the way a child plays. So we can see that it is about playful behavior. So playful behavior relates to the expression the way child plays. The way is equivalent to the howness. So of course the way child plays means playful behavior, and when it says can give us important clues, that resembles, that is an equivalent to may provide information. A modal verb can, a modal verb may. And the last chunk is about diagnosis of neurodevelopmental disorders like autism. Of course that is very commonsensically about a medical problem, so autism is one. Very obvious that the answer should be true, because all the 3 points in the question statement according to the information that is available in the text. So that is absolutely fine. And question number 11 is about playing with the dolls found to benefit girls writing more than boys writing. Again, we are going to divide our sentence into 2 or 3 chunks. So playing with dolls is an idea. We're going to look for the benefits. We are going to see if there are any comparisons. Dolls are of course a very easy hint and key to find out any answers. Let's see if it can help us. We can see that the last answer was in the previous paragraph's last line. So of course we're going to look for the answers in the upcoming paragraphs, as we know that there is an order that is followed. As we can see that there is this expression played with dolls. We are going to see if there is a comparison. Any comparison cannot be seen. No comparison available anywhere at all. There is something about writing, but that is not about a comparison. It does say that it has benefits, longer and better structured stories as well. That is nowhere similar to the idea of comparison between boys and girls, because it talks about children, and it has not specified any particular gender. Of course, we are gonna consider this to be not given. It's NG. So this whole paragraph lacks any information related to comparison between boys and girls writings. So let's move on and let's find out what is the next question about. Next question says children had problems thinking up ideas when they first created the story with Lego. I think we have just seen the answer, because there was something related to benefits. We are going to see if they had any problems thinking up ideas when they first created the story. I mean, for the first time. And there was this line where we have already seen that children first create their story with Lego with similar results. And what are those similar results? Of course, those similar results are mentioned in the previous sentence. That says when they first played with dolls, children wrote longer and better structured stories when they first played with dolls, representing characters in the story. So when they first played the story, they wrote longer and better structured stories. So but the question said that they had problems thinking up ideas when they first created the story with Lego. But it is absolutely opposite to whatever was said in the question, so it has to be false. In the last question, that is question number 13, it says people nowadays regard children's play as less significant as they did in the past. So one main point is nowadays, the other is less significant, and of course the last one is than they did in the past. So there is a comparison between the idea of considering children's play as less significant. So people now consider it less significant as compared to their previous beliefs. So that means there is a comparison. So as we have seen that the previous answer was in the third last paragraph, of course we'll have to look for the next answers in the upcoming two paragraphs, with the second last and the last one. The expression about importance of plays in the last paragraph, that is the significance which has been lost, and it is regarded as something trivial. So regard, the word regard, people nowadays regard. So the expression regard is also paraphrased there, but it is in just passive voice. And regarded as something trivial. Trivial is something less significant or of less importance. And so when we consider that importance of play has been lost and it is considered to be something trivial, so that means it is regarded as less significant. And the idea of now has been paraphrased in the expression in recent decades. That means that resembles the expression now. So it means that people nowadays regard children's play as less significant than they did in the past. All the main points which we had pointed out in the question statement have been found. There was a comparison between the beliefs that people had in the past about the significance or the importance of children's play. People nowadays consider it to be of less significance. So that is why the answer has to be true.